Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Kellie Chasse. We're going to be painting a easy fall leaf watercolor tutorial today, so stick around.
All right, hello everyone. Today we are going to be using, for brushes, I think I'm just going to use my number 8. I've been using this one a lot, the Princeton Round Neptune brush. I've got my Fabriano paper back in again. As well, it's 100% cotton. It reminds me of my Strathmore watercolor cards a lot. More expensive, mind you, but I don't have to tape it down, so I don't ruin my mats all the time. So I can just, do wet into wet right on here, which I do absolutely love. So I'm using that paper. I've got my Rosa paints. I always love my Rosa paints. I forgot to spritz them though, so I'm going to spritz them really quick. Now, some of you may have trouble with your watercolors sometimes when they are dry. So I usually will spritz my watercolors. I mean, you can see put a lot of water on there, plus this thing leaks, but put a lot of water in there. You want them fairly juicy, and I will say the Rosa paints do get juicy very fast. And so I'll spritz it once, and then I wait a little while, and then I usually spritz it a second time right before I'm going to paint, maybe a few minutes before. So I get nice puddles in there, and I can really work those colors really easy. So I sketched out a fall, a leaf, and I want to make this one kind of bright. That's what I'm hoping for.
And if you're enjoying these YouTube videos, one of the best ways that you can help support me and my channel is by joining me over there on Patreon. And your support helps me keep creating these tutorials with you. And as a patron, you also get the exclusive bonuses, sketches, and extended lessons. So a huge thank you to all my patrons. You are amazing, and thank you for making this possible.
So I don't like to use masking fluid, but I am going to wet the area. And I do have to be a little bit more careful than I usually am because why? Because why, Kelly? Why do you have to be? Because I want to make sure I don't cover up that line because I want to keep it very light and transparent. Now I can work in sections at a time this way by keeping that nice and wet without going over the whole thing and without using masking fluid. So I'm going to go, I want a really pretty kind of that might be too dark. I'm thinking of like a tealy blue. That's a pretty color. It seems dark though. Let's just see. Oh no, that's going to be all right. I think it's going to be quite pretty. So let's just go ahead and fill this in with the blue. Now I did wet it first. And I got to be careful. You know me, I'm just like a bull in a china closet. I just, just go for it. I'm horrible at waiting things out. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this side too. While I'm at it, we'll keep this very similar. Got a little doody doop right there. Part of the leaf as it comes out. And I didn't even sketch these leaves appropriately. I mean, I didn't look at a leaf. I don't have a leaf. I know that leaves are a certain shape, so these are not anatomically correct. But I want to share with you, you don't have to always have everything perfect, right? It's just about enjoying the process, having fun with it. If you want to know what a leaf looks like, then go get yourself a perfect leaf and sketch it out, trace around it, and you can do all of that. So it's starting to buckle a little bit. I think I want to add in just a little bit of green in here now. While it's still wet, I'm going to drop in this really bright green. We'll see if this is a good idea. Ooh. So maybe there's some other leaves in the background that haven't changed yet. Look at that. And see how strong the pigments are for this Rosa? I love that. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Let's go ahead with, do I want this yellow or this yellow? Actually, this is a warm cat yellow, I believe. And so let's just do a little bit of that in there too. A little mix of both. I don't want to cover up all of that gorgeous blue, but let's see, do we want to change it up for this side? Maybe go a little darker. So this could be like the sky, this could be the dark side. We've come to the dark side. Let's go with, let's go with this green. These are kind of bright colors. Maybe I'll add a little bit of that same blue to it, just to make it maybe a little bit lighter, but I mean a little bit darker. So I've got to work in these little sections. I do not like working in little sections. I like the freedom, but I'm always trying something new. Always having fun. Let's go around that little shape of the leaf again. I want to keep it wet. I forgot to wet that before I did it, so I'm going to add a little more water. Was that the right color? That wasn't the right color. It's all right. It's going to be a different color now. See how I play with colors and don't worry about it? Oh yeah, that's much darker, isn't it? It's all right. Drop a little bit of that in there. Come around and catch this one. Okay. All right. It'll work. I think I'm going to go in a little darker, maybe with some browns. I don't know. I haven't done this yet, so you're watching me as I'm playing. And I want some darker colors in there. Maybe that's some sticks in the background. Maybe we have some more leaves back there. Let's go with some bright orange on the side. Maybe a little bit of that yellow. And I'm just dabbing and dotting. Let's throw a little bit of it in here too. Maybe that comes in from there. I don't know. Make a little mud. I haven't decided if I want it that way or this way. We may decide that later. All right, I'm going to wet this time because I've got a little bit bigger area to go in. Now my water is dirty. It's okay because this is going to be a darker color. And now you can see it. You can actually see where I'm adding the water. Okay, I do need to come down and around here. I hope you can see that okay. Forgot to look at my camera to see. I'm into it. That's what happens when you're into it. Sometimes the filming goes to pot. I'm not paying attention. That's what happened to me last week. I went to do a little bird, a raven, and I ran out of space on my phone, so I didn't get any of it. I think I might go with a blue in here too. What blue is it that I used? Is it this one? Nope. That one, maybe. Yep. Again, I'm switching it up. Doesn't have to be the same one. I'm getting a little messier as the day goes on. That usually happens to me because I'm just loving that loose effect. I used to be a really detailed painter, very stiff, and I am definitely not that anymore. I've learned to paint with my mother, and she is a wonderful detailed painter, so that's how I learned. And then I've kind of changed it up to my own style now, and so I do my own thing. Oop. What was that back here? Did I go over the leaf? Turn that around. Yep, I forgot this little spot in here. That's what it was. Yep, I just went over that leaf vein. That's all right. I think that was a leaf there. We could take it out, or I could put it really dark in here. You know what? You can always change things, so don't panic. If you mess something up, just go with it. All right, so I don't know if that's the top or the bottom. I guess it doesn't really matter. I would have liked to have light on the top, dark on the bottom. But since I can't seem to make up my mind, what's the top and what's the bottom? Maybe this will be the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna go darker down here. There we go. Keep that same color in there, but just gonna darken it up with a little bit more brown. Can even add a little bit of grape to that. Ooh, let's see what this is gonna do. Oh yeah, now it's really dark, isn't it? Might be a little too dark in there, but again, we might have those colors everywhere. See, this is too dry up here. So it's probably time to stop. I think I might take a little bit of water and just soften that. I might get a bloom there. That's all right. Yeah, look, you can see it blooming already. It's okay, it gives it texture. If you don't like it, You can lift a little. Ooh, a little light in there. Look at that. I'm just wiping off that excess right on my paper towel. So yeah, I've got a little light in there. Let's see, just lift it. I think I want to do the same thing over here. This is just too dark. Too dark. Look at that. Lift it out. Same with this little spot here. Do a little lifting. A little lifting never hurt anybody. I always would say that, especially while you're weightlifting. A little lifting. All right. Oop, wrong one. Drop a little color back in here. Nothing's ever permanent. Look at that. All right, so that's fun. We'll see how I like this. So I do need to let this dry, and then we will do the leaves with maybe just a little bit more detail. Okay, I'm back. I wanted to show you guys, look, I actually did my own nails, and I know that there's a whole thing about nails right now. I don't do them very often. This one's getting dirty because I've got paint on them, but I wanted to share with you guys what I got because I already had my little UV light when I was doing resin. So this is like a little professional UV light. It was really cheap. It was like $9.99, I think. And then I got the base coat, which is what you need to put down first, and you do need to buff your nails a little bit. I had mine done professionally. They cost me over $125 before I left Maine, and I was like, I want to keep it up, but then I'd never keep it up because it's expensive, and then they file them down too much. So you do have to buff it. So I bought a little buffer kit. Came with a really hard buffer. I don't know why I'm showing you this, but sometimes, people are like, oh, look, Kellie's nails look nice. So anyway, it came with a little sander kit. It came with one of these little things for your remover, your nail polish remover. And then it has all these little clips. You can clip it on so it doesn't ruin your nails. And you put these little pads on them, which I thought these pads would work well too. You could do this with alcohol ink, little extra bonus things with my watercolor. Maybe I can use it somehow. Anyway, you can take it off. You put them on like this and you let them sit, and it removes it really well. And so, yeah, so then you put once you buff it, you put the base coat on and you put it under for just a few seconds, like 30 seconds. And then I did my white. I will show you this. The white actually is True White, which is the 0555. By the way, this is the gel polish, which is actually the white tips. And then I only could get it with the black. So I thought I'd use the black during Halloween. Okay, so I did the white tips next. And then once that is in again, you put it under the light for like 30 seconds, maybe a little bit longer, depending on your wattage. This one's a 10-watt one, I think. Yeah, mini 10. And then for the final thing, you put the top coat on it and then you put back under again, and you get these nice little hard nails. So I thought I'd share that with you. If you want to get the French manicure, the French tips, that's what I got initially was the pink. I think it was, but it's too pink, and the white is not true white. It's like a milky white. So that's another way to do it, but I wanted the bright white. So, okay, back to the painting. Oh, and I did get, show you this too. I did get this little brush, actually not for my nails, but I had this one Zen brush for, it's a scrubber brush. That worked well. You just dip it in alcohol, and then after you do your base coat, you just slide it in around and you pull off the white paint, and you can get a nice edge. Now, I did not do as well on my right hand because that's my normal hand, my left hand. I should try painting with my left hand one of these days just to see how that goes, because I'm not a left-hander. I don't do anything with my left hand. Okay, back to our scheduled program. All right, I'm going to go in with just some clean water again, going around. I think I might come right down here too. Now, you can't see it again, but I'm just wetting it. Now, don't get it too wet, right? What's too wet? You're like, what's too wet, right? Well, if your paper is really buckling or it is running everywhere, like if I pick this up, you can see it's wet. It's wet and shiny, but it's not dripping anywhere. It's pretty much staying in place. Well, that's dripping right there. I'm gonna mop that up. But that's as wet as you want it, right there. And remember, your paper will determine how wet it gets, because some paper is going to soak it up, especially if it's 100% cotton. If it's not 100% cotton, it's not going to soak it up quite as much. All right, so we've just got this one. Let's do this one a pretty orange. I think I'm going to go with this cad yellow first. We're going to make it orange, but I'm going to drop in this lighter. It's not that light, is it? It's pretty bright. We're going to put in that color first. We want to have light, and then we want to have dark as well. Because that's, if you make it all one color, it looks flat, it looks boring. This is going to give it some life. So we've got the yellow in there. I think I'm going to just follow. I think this is more of a kind of reds, usually kind of reddish brown. So I'm not going to go any further into that. Then, while this is wet, and you've got to make sure it's not too wet. It's going to go boom. It's going to bloom everywhere. So actually, I think I might do this one while I wait for that one a little bit more. Oh yeah, I forgot to wet that one. That's all right. You don't have to wet it. If I make this really light, I can go in with that light yellow. See that? It just went into some water. I don't want to go in a whole lot of water. Even though you have pigment on there, it doesn't mean that you want to, what am I trying to say? Get too much on there, too much water on there. And look, I leave it really light on the edge. I kind of like that. Okay. So maybe you've got some folds in there. Again, we want to do this fairly quickly. We don't want this to be a long, drawn out kind of painting. We want to be able to this is just for fun, having, some time for yourself, go in, have some fun, paint a little, not too much pressure. This is supposed to be fun. And I'm going to show you, I might show you a really detailed one that I did. I have a full class on these, where I went lots of layers and stuff. If you want to go deeper, you can check that one out. Okay, so I'm going to go in. I want some other reds. I want, deep red. Yeah, I like that one. What is that one? You probably want to know these colors, right? So this one is white, cad yellow, lemon yellow, sorry, cad yellow. This one was cad deep, medium yellow, that first one I used. And then this is cad orange. This is flame red. This is cad red light. I mean, so you could use any of these. Cad red light. And this one is bright red, madder rose, opera rose, and magenta rose. There you go. Okay, so now you've got all of those colors. So this is getting a little drier now. See this? It's not moving quite as much. Let's see, do we want, let's go with more red on that edge. So maybe it's changing on one, how leaves change on one side more than they do the other. So yes, look at that. That's starting to dry. So I'm getting a very sharp edge right here, because this is where it didn't come in all the way, for one thing. So you get a nice sharp edge. I like the glow, a little bit of white left around there. Okay, so before that dries, see, I can flick it with a little bit of water to give it some texture. And that background is dry, so that shouldn't do much. Or I can go with the salt. And again, if you want to learn more about my salt technique and stuff, you can check that out. I've got a YouTube video on that, and I'll link that one down below for you. Okay, so I'm going to let that do its thing. Actually, I think I want to go in just a little darker. I'm going to add, what color do I want to add? I'm playing sepia, maybe. Just a little bit of dark. You know how leaves always have those couple little dark areas? I'm going to add that right in there with it. Let's just see what that's going to do. Could have done that before I added the salt, but I'm doing it after. Okay, so, you know what? I just realized I've got another one over here. This is me, you guys. This is me being scatterbrained, because that's just how I do things. I squirrel. You know what I did? I went to go clean the toilet in our spare room. We have guests. I'm so excited. We have guests coming. So by the time you watch this, they'll be here. some artists from Maine are coming here to paint with me. I'm so excited. We're going to go to Graceland. We're going to go see Elvis's. We're going to go for lunch. They're going to give us a lunch and a guided tour. We get to go behind the scenes, so it's going to be super fun. But anyway, I was cleaning the bathroom. See how much I squirrel? I was cleaning the bathroom. And I go from one room to the other, and I start one project and I don't even realize it. And I go into another room and I start another project. And I do that all throughout the house. It's just crazy. Do you guys do that? You have to let me know. Or am I the only one that kind of squirrels? Or do you do that? I think I don't know if it's just my creative brain. That's how it works. So I'd like to know if I'm alone or not. Okay. Wow, I'm really chatty today. I've had lots of coffee. I'm going to let that dry. We're going to come back and see what the salt has done, and we'll remove that.
You guys, I know I said this last week too, but I am on a mission to reach 20,000 subscribers. So if you are enjoying this content, please make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button. That's going to really help me out. And don't forget to leave that comment. That helps the algorithms.
All right, we're back. I removed all the salt. Now, I mean, it's not, there's no details in here yet, right? These are all just background colors, a lot of little muted colors. So we're going to go with a few details in here. Now, I'm going to go with a kind of a reddish brown. So I'm going to use that same red, add a little sepia to it. That kind of looks like about the right color, maybe a little darker. Maybe, oh, that might be too dark. Let's just see. So I'm going to come along the stem here. And I'm going to skip that one there. I'm going to come here. So this is my shadow color. I'm going to drag that all the way across the bottom of that stem. And then I'm going to do the same thing here because I went over that one, remember? I was like, oops. So we've got a nice stem there. I'm going to come down on this side here. And then, let's see, I would guess maybe this side. Is that right? No, this side. We'll just put this one all in shadow. And I'm not looking at anything nature, so sometimes, you know, when we're trying to do this stuff, we make a few mistakes because we're not thinking. But if you study a lot of nature, you're really good at that, which I try to, but not so much with this stuff. But like islands and things like that, I kind of have that down. And then I could put in, again, I don't want it to be super dark, so I'm going to add a little bit more water. I want this more, less pigment, more water, so it's more translucent because I don't want to go with a big dark brown streak on here. So let's just come through, we'll give it a little bit because these little stems come right through that whole leaf. Okay, and then again, I'm just kind of, you know, just thinking about what it would look like. We do have those little kind of branches that come out. And again, I don't want to go super detailed with this. It looks like a little hex mark going on there. I think these are spread out more into each leaf. I think that's more right. So again, just bring a few of those out. They kind of do a curving motion too. That's probably a little too straight, but it gives you the gist, right? And then they have those little veins that pop off from the side of it. And then for here, I don't want to leave that completely white, but I'm going to give it a little bit more red. Just a little. I'm going to tap off some of that excess because I don't want it too bright. Let's just see how that is. Yeah, that'll work. I forgot to do this one. See that? Is that? I guess this is probably behind. It doesn't go to this leaf here. So I'm going to come in through, come up, give it a little touch here. Same with this one. I don't know if I want that white on that one. Maybe just up on this one. Okay, so there we have it. I might go in again, very dark. Now, if you need to switch, like I am using a bigger brush, but I'm trying to use the very tip of this. But again, I'm not being super careful. Some people, when they paint, they're like so slow. I just like I said, I'm like a bear. I just jump right in. Or bull in a china closet. My mom used to call me that all the time. Like a bull in a china closet, Kelly. So again, I just want a few more details in here. I don't know where that one's going. And we might have a few little nubs in here. I think they have little nubs where the leaf hangs out, where it comes out. But yeah, I don't want to go too detailed. I do want a few in here for you. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna do some more work in here for Patreon. So if you're a Patreon, stick around. I hope you guys enjoyed this one.